everyone, it's Lou Collins for CraftStash. Today I'd like to run you through a 3-minute hack, and this actually involves 3 different hacks for creating shaker cards without any static, making sure that the elements within your shaker cards can move around freely. So I've got everything ready to create a shaker card. I have got my sequins here, and you can use pearls or gems, sequins, beads, glitter, whatever you choose, but I've gone with the biggest that I can find just to be able to show you how to utilize those. I've got my acetate and my shaker frame here, and I've got some foam tape. So the first thing I'm going to do is use an anti-static bag, and this is going to reduce the static of the sequins, in this case, on the cardstock and the paper. And I'm going to make sure I've got a really good coating of this all over where my shaker window is going to be, but also on the inside of the acetate as well. So once that's got a good coating on it, I'm going to apply my foam tape. Now, to ensure that the elements in my shaker, so as I say, sequins in this case, can move around really freely, I'm going to double up on my foam. I try to ensure that the gap between the tape is as small as possible. I'm going to peel off the backing of the foam now and then add a second layer over the top. Now with this second layer, I've made sure that the join is in a different place to the first one. Now before I take the second layer off, that top layer of sticky from the foam, I'm going to come back to my anti-static bag again, and I'm just going to tap the powder in there on the inside of the foam tape. Sometimes you can have a little bit of adhesive, a little bit of tacky on the tape itself, on the edges, and these can catch on to whatever you've used for your shaker elements. Now it's a good idea at this stage to place some of your shaker elements inside, rattle them around a little bit and make sure nothing's sticking. So as you can see, everything's moving freely, nothing's getting caught onto any of the edges. There's a little bit there, so I'll just take my anti-static bag and just give that another tap around that area and just check again that that's not catching now. Now the reason I've done a double layer of foam is because if any of my sequins end up on their side, so sticking out at the greatest width, they can catch onto the acetate and get jammed underneath your window. So you want to ensure that that doesn't happen by having quite a deep aperture there between your base, your card, whatever it may be, and your acetate window. So now I'm going to place my shaker elements inside where they need to be, and rather than leaving them as a big pile like this, I'm going to flatten them down with my finger. Try to ensure they're as separated as possible, as widespread as possible, and as flat as possible, but keep them confined within the space or within the shape that your shaker window is going to be. So when I'm happy that I've got enough there, they're laying down flat, there's nothing too much overlapping there, they're nice and flat, I'm going to now peel off the backing from my adhesive foam. And I'm carefully going to place my window over the top. And there I've got a perfect shaker where nothing is sticking to the edges, catching on where it shouldn't do. And yeah, really happy with that. So there's some top tips for you to follow if you wish for making the perfect shakers without your elements sticking to the edge. If you like top tips like this, don't forget of course to follow our playlist for our 3-minute card making hacks just here. And as always, we'd love it if you could subscribe to the CraftStash YouTube channel just here.